I did watch it,
Totally.
and wow. So first off, bro, how do you feel about the ending of this show? Did you cry? I cried.
I didn't,
I
but
teared up, bro.
I turned it off. Actually, I turned it off.
Really? Why?
So someone very close to me had cancer. She doesn't anymore. But whenever like I see some, I just can't watch it. I turn it off.
Yeah.
You know, and I was annoyed because I was loving the ending. I loved what they did. But like right when I realized Lois was dying, I was like, oh, this is done.
Wait, so you didn't watch the rest of it at all?
I just didn't, and I also skip the beginning when I watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I skip that beginning scene with his mom. You know, but I loved how they did it, and like that show was epic. Do you think that Superman and Lois is a better show than Arrow?
No,
bro. I don't know.
nah, no way.
It's
no
tough.
way.
Superman and Lois never fell off. That's the other thing.
How many seasons they have? What, 4?
4.
3, 4. Yeah, but Arrow gave us like 5 good ones, bro. I'm sorry.
Arrow.
Like Arrow to me is just one of the greatest superhero shows of all time.
Yeah. Superman and Lois, bro.
Yeah, true. Superman and Lois is definitely up there. It's funny because I hated Tyler Hoechlin when he was in Supergirl, and then I didn't really like the first season of Superman and Lois, but then season 2, I was hooked on. Then I stopped, and then you told me to rewatch it. Then I watched 3 and 4, and I'm like, wow, this is top tier. A lot of people are saying that Tyler Hoechlin is like probably like they think he's better than Henry Cavill.
You know, I think it's an unfair comparison because, like, it's hard. For example, and some people might disagree with this comparison or analogy or whatever, but it's hard to compare Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. You know, 2 very different types of Spider-Man movies. I think that Tom Holland Spider-Man is exploited more for the greater MCU than they use him to make like a classic Spider-Man movie. And I think because of that, it's an unfair comparison, even though I'm biased and I would say Tobey Maguire. You know, and I think that with Henry Cavill, we never really got to see him really be like Superman. He was never an accurate Superman. And they did so much damage that when like we get real Superman or there's hints of getting a real Superman, you have a bunch of people online say like, oh, that's whack. Like they don't really know what Superman is because they're so sold on Zack Snyder's false vision. You know, so I don't think it's a fair comparison. I do think if Henry Cavill got to play an accurate Superman, I do think people would have probably talked about him as one of the greatest castings of all time.
Would have been levels ahead. Yeah.
Listen, he's a very talented actor. I think he seems like a really cool guy in real life, and like,
oh yeah, he's dope. He seems dope at least.
He's got the charm. He's got charisma. He's got all the like right personality traits to play the right to actually do Superman justice. And you know, I think he knows he was robbed of it, and it sucks the way it went down. But you know, they have to go with someone new. No matter what anyone says, the one big thing is they can't bring any. It's a business, and there's a lot of baggage with anything related to the Snyderverse. And if you have the chance to start fresh, you take it. So
I mean, bro, I would imagine James Gunn wish he was able to continue because it's easier that way. It's harder to start over.
I would say it, but I do think he really is happy with David Corenswet.
Oh yeah, he is. But I would imagine that like if the stars were aligned more, he would be like, okay, like this would be a way easier task than having to start over. But I think starting over, I love what James is doing, but I'm not going to simp. But back to Superman and Lois, I think that you really can't compare what Tyler Hoechlin did and what Henry Cavill did because they're in 2 different stages. The same way, like as I am kind of growing, I guess more as I'm reading more comics, like because I've been on the comic side of TikTok and stuff, and this one, I forget his name. but was it Cosmic? I don't. It was
Cosmic
somebody.
is great. Check out our friend Cosmic, the Cosmic Collector, COZMIK on TikTok. Friend of the show. He came on recently.
Great guy.
Great guy. Really knows his stuff. Personality. So he's entertaining.
It had to be someone that he was associated with or something. But the one thing that they said is that it is a secret rule, I guess. I get at least that he has. Whoever this guy, I forget the guy's name. But you're saying like his secret rule is he doesn't like to compare comic book versions of superheroes because they're always in different stages of life. He said the only way that he compares them is if they're in the same stage as a hero, if that makes sense. And so an example would be like we can compare Cavill to Christopher Reeves because they were in the same stage of life. You know what I mean? So we can compare those Supermans to each other. And where I'm at with like Spider-Man, I'm done comparing Tom Holland to Toby because Toby was kind of like becoming a grown man where Tom Holland's a little high school boy, you know? And I just think that, and we can compare qualities and stuff like that, which I think should be landed with every Spider-Man. But like when it comes to Hoechlin Superman, he was older. He was a father of 2, you know, he has a wife, you know, he's on the farm. He's back in Smallville. It's just a whole different vibe than what, you know, you get in the films. And to be honest, bro, he is the best TV Superman. You know, I have like Smallville. Smallville is one of my favorite shows of all time. But I mean, after season 1, Tyler Hoechlin was a better Superman than Tom. So yeah, this show was me. But I do want to talk about the ending because the fact that we got to see him and all his kids flying together with the Superman suits on,
and the steel,
bro, that joint was hard, bro. Oh man, and they definitely put some bread into that CGI, bro. They definitely put some bread into that CGI, man. And I also love the Fortress of Solitude, bro, in Superman and Lois. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. Like they did such a great job on that show, which I loved.
Yeah, it's funny. I think almost all of Superman and Lois was inspired by Peter Tomasi's Superman run, which is great, by the way, if you haven't read it. It's really good. But, yeah, you know, I posted something on Threads about how, you know, Superman is like finally getting the positive attention and hype that he deserves. And almost all the comments on it were like positive. It wasn't like, you know, of course there was like 1 or 2 that are like, you know, just complain. Like these people, if you give any Superman a compliment that's not Henry Cavill, they throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that is why there's too much baggage to use anything from the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
they shoot themselves in the foot.
I think Hoechlin is always going to be cursed just because he doesn't fit the mold of what we've seen with Superman. And I'm not saying that I curse him to that because I think that what Tyler Hoechlin did was different, but also like he still held like to me, and maybe this is me like maturing in my fandom because I said the same thing about them trying to race swap Severus Snape too. Is that like
race swap who?
Snape.
Severus Snape. Okay.
Yeah. And like, and maybe this is me just growing up, but in my fandom a bit, but I am all for it. Like I'm all for looking a bit different if the qualities are better. And to me, Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, the qualities of Clark Kent, the qualities of Kal-El was shown in such a beautiful way, bro. I don't think I've ever seen it done that way on screen, bro. Like, and this one I think David Cornsway is going to do even 10 times better than Tyler Hoechlin. But the heart of Superman in that show, bro, is just like the heart to see the good through the evil and people that no one sees. Like it was shown in such a beautiful way that made you like want to be like that. You know what I mean? Like it was like I don't know how to explain it, bro.
Well, you know,
it touched my heart. I'm not trying to sound emotional, but it touched my heart.
When he was doing the interview and he made sure to do it with Jimmy Olsen's sister, and he was like, I'm just like a regular guy, you know, like you. Like that was cool to me. Because that is who Clark Kent is. And, you know, the one thing I will say, and I don't mean this like as a criticism, I love Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. I think he was incredible. But I do think that a lot of the fandom doesn't understand that there is a skill discrepancy in acting for a TV show and a movie. Like a lot of people are always saying Grant Gustin should be the Flash, or he should be the Flash in the DCU. Like, listen, and I love that show, and I think Grant Gustin is incredible in it, but he's not a feature film blockbuster actor, and neither is Tyler Hoechlin. And I'm not saying they can't make that jump, but could you imagine an actor like Robert Downey Jr. doing with skill level, doing an Iron Man TV show? Like it would be out of place. There's a reason that and when you do see those kinds of actors that do TV shows, someone like Pedro Pascal is a perfect example because he has done TV shows, but he's done premier high, a streaming show like The Mandalorian or The Last of Us that are winning awards, and the acting capability, it's much different than a CW show. And Pedro Pascal did those before becoming Reed Richards. So he's kind of done that to launch his career, but this discrepancy between those types of shows and a movie is not as large as a CW show, which is, by the way, and I like Stephen Amell as an actor. I think he, I don't always agree with things he said. I don't agree with things everyone says, but that doesn't mean I'm not someone who's like, oh, you said something I don't like, so I'm going to pretend you can't act for the rest of your life.
100%.
That stuff is so corny. Anyway, Stephen Amell is doing the new show Suits. I don't know if you know the show Suits.
Oh, I love that show. I can't wait to watch it.
My whole family loves that show. It's great. They're doing a new Suits LA version, and he's the main star. He's not in a Hollywood blockbuster that everyone's pre-ordering tickets to. There's a big, big difference. And one of the many examples of why these studios should not listen to the fandoms, because people don't know what they're talking about. Yes, everyone has an opinion. Everyone watches something, but it doesn't mean they all understand things to that degree.
100%. And that is something that we need to talk about, because Disney, and I feel like Disney and Netflix brought this in. There's a difference between a Netflix show, a Disney Plus show, and the actual CW show. You got to understand, Wanda Vision, prime example, they're putting $100 million into that show, versus where Superman and Lois, they're maybe putting $50 million, $25 million. I mean, the budgets are different and insane. And you are right. There are two different types of acting, premises. And Pedro is just special. I mean, the guy, you have to be a special type of actor to go from series to doing a movie. And you are 100% right. And Pedro, I think he's just one of those guys that just stood out. You know what I mean? And
everyone loves him.
Things like that. Yeah, exactly. And there's just certain actors like Timothée Chalamet. You're never going to see him in a series. You're never going to see Timothée Chalamet in a series ever. He's always going to do movies.